I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Sarah, and together we're the co-founders of Whale Tales, a living library of cetacean stories.
It's Orca Action Month. Still, go figure, because it's a month long, and we're celebrating by doing things a little differently on the podcast and coming to you every week this month.
So sit back and enjoy as we dive right in.
Hello again, and happy Orca Action Month. I hope it's going great for all of you.
Yes, we are back, and we are highlighting another interesting orca story about some individuals. This week, we're looking at Port and Starboard.
Mm-hmm.
Port and Starboard might be the most badass orcas in the ocean. They are a pair of adult male orcas, very notable for preying on great white sharks off the coast of South Africa.
This duo are identified as having rare and distinct collapsed dorsal fins, and they are named for the nautical terms as Port's fin collapses left and Starboard's collapses right.
I love that.
I know. I don't think I knew that, or I did once and was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, that's delightful. Awesome. That's because whale nerds are nerds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, lots of them spend a lot of time on boats.
Yes.
Make lots of starboard jokes. Anyways, Port and Starboard are part of a distinctive flat-toothed morphotype, which is present around South Africa. There's a paper called The Confirmation of the Occurrence of a Second Killer Whale Morphotype in South African Waters by P.B. Best et al., and it was published in October of 2013.
And I'm going to read an excerpt from the abstract because, spoiler alert, we will put a link for this article in the show notes, but it is not freely accessible. I know, sad. But I'm just going to read this part of the abstract because I found it fascinating, especially for listeners of this podcast who know how we feel about ecotypes / morphotypes and all of that jazz. So, all killer whales in South African waters were referred to as a single morphotype, type A. But 3 individuals at the time of this paper, again in 2013, 2 males and 1 female, that have stranded since 1969, differ in several respects from other killer whales examined from the region. The adult length in some is about 1 to 1.5 meters smaller than the type A's, and they have appendages such as dorsal fins and flippers that tend to be relatively larger. As well, tooth wear is excessive. Although dietary information is scant, one stomach of the 3 contained the remains of several elasmobranchs. Insert, that is the scientific term for the group that sharks belong to.
Yes.
Yeah, as well as skates and rays and ratfish. Anyways, back to the abstract. And these remains were identified from a DNA subsample as blue sharks, a dietary item that, if habitual, would account for the tooth wear. If, listeners, this is sounding familiar, don't worry, the abstract recognizes that by this next sentence. This morphotype, referred to here as flat-toothed, and which in several respects resembles the offshore form in the North Pacific and the type 1 form in the North Atlantic, does not seem to have been recorded previously in the Southern Hemisphere.
Oh, it's a mystery.
Yeah. Right?
Who
so this
took
is
those 3 animals from BC and put them in South Africa? And why?
And so this is really important to note because when we talk about recognized ecotypes, which we have talked about at length in many previous episodes of this podcast, we talk about the 4/5 now because there's 2 type A's. Or
2 type B's.
Right.
Yes.
So there's 5 ecotypes in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yes.
But none of them are shark eaters or elasmobranch eaters.
Yes.
So these ones that Port and Starboard belong to are a whole other thing that is even lesser understood than all the rest that are poorly understood.
Yes. It's a mess down there.
Yeah.
Not that it's clean and obvious and organized up here. But anyway, that's a different story.
Yes.
Okay. So, Port and Starboard were first reported near Luderitz in 2009 and are often sighted traveling off the coast of Gansby, Port Elizabeth, Cape Town, and most notably in False Bay. Before 2015, False Bay was well known for its large population of leaping great white sharks, as you've probably seen if you've gone on the internet or watched Giant Shark versus Mega Octopus like I have. These were like hundreds of great white sharks. It was a big population. By 2020, sightings were reduced to nearly zero, any remaining having apparently moved to safer waters. At least 7 great whites believed to have been killed by the duo were found in 2017, including one famous female measuring 16 feet or 4.9 meters named Khaleesi that was discovered washed ashore with her liver removed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Man. Okay, so since then, in February of 2023, Port and Starboard killed 17 broad-nosed seven-gill sharks in a single day.
What the?
They dined on their livers and then let the bodies wash ashore. This was reported by Dr. Alison Koch, who was one of the team that published the first evidence of orcas killing great white sharks. We will link in the show notes. There's an article that is available fully online for free and an insane video. Like, yeah, enjoy. Or something.
Now, also, just take a note. 17 sharks of any kind in a day is insane. But we should just give some concept to the size of a broad-nosed seven-gill shark. The mature male length is 1.5 meters long, or 4.9 feet. And the mature female length, because female sharks are always bigger, is 2.5 meters, or 7.2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they are big, but they're not
big.
great white shark.
Yeah, but
big.
17.
17. You can compare that to, like, that's harbor porpoise or
Yeah.
harbor seal, like bigger than a harbor seal. And bigs don't kill that many. And it's just the
That's a
two
whole
of
pod.
them?
Yeah.
It's just two crazy killer whales.
Man.
Good Lord.
Okay, and then in terms of their fins, which gives them their name, and I think that that's very cute, in the wild, collapsed or bent dorsal fins are most commonly associated with some kind of injury, maybe an entanglement. However, though it is rare, there does appear to be some occurrence of this happening in wild populations through some other factors. And one theory comes from Dr. Simon Elwin, who's the founding director of Sea Search in South Africa, that he believes it could be diet related. Specifically, in shark-eating orcas, such as Port and Starboard, it could be that they're not consuming enough calcium or other essential minerals for strong dorsal growth. Now, an orca's dorsal fin is not made of bone. There is no bone holding it up. So if you're thinking calcium, bone, yes, it is made of cartilage. But cartilage also requires calcium, just not as much as
But yeah,
bone.
if they're being picky and only eating shark livers, that might make sense.
And not drinking their milk.
And
Or
crunching
eating
on
their broccoli.
fish bones. Yeah.
Yeah. Also contributing to this, Dr. Elwin believes, could be pollutants, because shark-eating orcas are consuming sharks, which are prey that are at the top of the food web. So they would have higher levels of pollutants in... The sharks themselves would have higher levels of pollutants in their body than lower-order prey like fish or squid.
Also, back to the liver thing. Liver's job is to remove toxins from...
Yes.
Yeah, and so...
Yeah. Well, because then, like, the offshores, I guess, I don't know, are we assuming that they eat other things aside from sharks? Or they eat the whole
maybe
shark?
They eat the whole shark? I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. We don't know enough about offshores. We need to get a boat and go and just be out there.
Except you two would not survive living in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
We would not. Nope.
One other thing we will say about Port and Starboard, because they're awesome and deserve to be movie stars, is, hey, guess what? They are. There is a truly crazy documentary about Port and Starboard that was featured in Shark Week. And it plays, I haven't finished it, I've watched about the first 10 minutes, but it plays like a murder mystery thriller.
Yeah.
It's called Air Jaws The Hunted.
I mean...
And it's very much told, like, from the shark's point of view, because Air Jaws it's a franchise for Shark Week.
Right.
That started with the just Air Jaws singular, no colon and extra, about the great white sharks that leap after sea lions. So this is Air Jaws The Hunted.
But Air Jaws, was it a great white shark jumping because it was playing basketball with the dog? Is that what's happening?
And then it plays soccer the next year.
Yeah. But it's amazing. I can't wait to finish
One thing to keep in mind, I'm sure it's delightful to watch, but, Shark Week and facts have an interesting relationship of dubious quality. Yeah.
Yes. So maybe I should, much better term would be mockumentary. I'm sure it's not intending to be satirical, but it's just a good time. You do need to watch it, and so do all of you listening.
Indeed.
Oh, man. So, and that is Port and Starboard, who are incredible. Good job, team, for doing whatever it is that you're doing.
Except sharks are also awesome, and please don't eat all the sharks.
Right.
I'm eating all the sharks. There are sharks in other places other than South Africa. So
This is true.
it's not how life works, but still, I support them. Before we go, we want to take a quick moment to tell you about one of the ways you can support our podcast and everything we do at Whale Tales.
You can join us by becoming a patron at patreon.com/whaletales. For $1 a month, you can join at the porpoise level, $5 a month at the dolphin level, or $10 a month at the whale level. Each level comes with a variety of perks, like a weekly newsletter or access to fun Patreon-only podcasts, including this month's Whale Tales Watches episode for our $10 patrons, where we cover Free Willy 2. Thanks.
Yay!
Thanks, patrons. We are so grateful for your support and love having you along for the ride.
Yay, thank you. And if you can't support us financially, we understand. We also are living life right now in the world and know how expensive everything is. So thank you for listening. We would just love to hear your thoughts on this episode or any episode. So please visit our website, whale-tales.org, where you can find links to all of our social media handles, and you can drop us a line.
You can also head to our website to subscribe to the podcast and read over 1,400 whale, dolphin, and porpoise stories.
That's whale-tales.org. Tales like the stories, not tales like the animal.
And if you've seen a cetacean, we would love to add your story to our library. You can click the share link on our website or contact us on social media at whaletales_org, or you can email us a voice memo and tell us all about your incredible cetacean encounter.
Finally, we want to acknowledge that we recorded today's episode on the unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples and the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, as well as the homelands of the Tsawwassen First Nation.
We will be back next week with our last orca highlight for Orca Action Month. Is it going to be your favorite orca? Who knows? Stay tuned. But for now, thank you again for listening and for supporting us. We hope you have a whaley great day.